Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paridana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanam Sudevi Pranamami Haripriye Chakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vaishnava Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for the Sunday program. I'd like to thank the temple management for giving me this opportunity. And I honestly don't have any qualification to speak on such transcendental subject matter, but with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, His Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas, whatever I speak is for my own purification and hope it enlightens you all. So today is Bhadra, so I thought we'll talk a little bit about Ekadashi. So Ekadashi is also the day of Lord Hari, and it's known as Hari Vasaraha, and it is also called as Madhav Tithi. So Tithi means the auspicious time, and Madhav is another name for Lord Krishna, so it's called as Madhav Tithi. And Mahanidhi Swami calls it a day of accounting. So he says that you account for the profit and loss in bhakti. And this is a very excellent opportunity that we can pray to Ekadashi Devi to help us progress in bhakti. And in our life, whatever activity or karma we perform should always be according to the scriptures. Because if we live our life as per what is mentioned in the scriptures, then we will always have peace and we will always be happy. And that happiness is the only eternal happiness that we can experience. Rest, all the happiness is all temporary. You might be happy today, you might be sad tomorrow. Again you'll be happy, again you'll be sad. So it's a cycle. It's like the cycle of birth and death, old age and disease. So happiness and miseries come and go. They're all temporary. But anything that we do for the Lord is always permanent. Like any devotional activity that we perform will never go waste. Will always remain there, eternal. And so it's like, if a child who has lost his father and he's looking around going asking, have you seen my father? Do you know who my father is? He may go around for, lifetimes after lifetimes, but he'll never be able to find who his father is. Neither will anybody be able to help him. Rather, if he just goes to his mother and asks who my father is, the mother will instantly tell him, okay, this is your father. So this will be effortless for him. Similarly for us, scriptures are our mother. And if we live life as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we will never have any trouble in our life. Yeah, small troubles here and there as per our karmas will always come. We cannot avoid that. But we will definitely not have any major problems. Because what we are doing by performing devotional service is that we are serving the Lord personally. Even though we are not capable, because we cannot serve the Lord directly. We have to serve the Lord through our Guru. and our Guru will take our prayers to the Lord. But by doing that, we attain mercy from Guru, from the Vaishnavas, and from the Lord. So the Lord will take care of us. He will make sure that what we have, He will retain, and anything that we require, He will provide for. He'll make arrangements that we fulfill our desires for the devotional service, not our personal desires. Personal desires are up to the Lord, whether He wants to sanction them or not. Because only the Lord knows what is good for us and what is not good for us. We may want something and we may say, yeah, I want this is good for me. But that's not what the Lord thinks. What may be good for us is not actually good. It's just because we want, we feel it's good for me. So the Lord decides. And again in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can read that in Gujarat, on the banks of Bindu Sarovar, Mother Devati is asking Lord Kapil Dev, who is a sadhu? So Lord Kapil Dev gives many qualities of the sadhu, but the main quality he mentions is that the true sadhu is the one who lives his life as per the scriptures. So again, same thing. If we live our life as per the scriptures, technically we can be called a sadhu, because we are living our life which is full of austerity. So if we want to know the Lord, the scriptures are our mother. So we should not go here and there asking some Babaji or somebody who's trying to, show you some magic tricks or tell you something good that you like to hear. Rather, we should just, refer the scriptures, approach a guru or approach a senior Vaishnava who has been serving the Lord for a long time. And they would be able to clear our doubts, explain us in the language that we can understand. Because for us, if we start reading the scriptures, yes, we may be able to read them, but we won't be able to understand the true meaning. Because we don't have that consciousness. Our bhakti is still not pure to understand that high level of spiritual talk that is mentioned in the scriptures. So we need a guru. We need senior Vaishnavas to guide us. We need our Siksha Gurus to tell us what we should do, how we should perform bhakti. And there are many types of fasts. Like 7 days of the week. Some people are observing fast on Monday, some are on Tuesday, some on Saturday. And people have been following this because they've seen somebody in the family do that. So they're just following in their footsteps without knowing why they're doing it, without asking any questions. They just blindly follow. And when they do that, and if somebody asks why you are doing that, I don't know. My mother did it, so I'm doing it. My grandmother did it, so I'm doing it. And by doing that, are they achieving anything? They're not achieving anything because they don't know the meaning behind it. Right? So if you ask them, why are they observing this particular day for fast? They don't have an answer. So rather we should follow the scriptures and what is the Lord saying and what does the Lord want. That only we can find out from the scriptures. So if somebody is let's say somebody is thirsty and comes to you and says, can you give me a glass of water? But out of compassion, you give him a glass of ghee. That's not going to satisfy his thirst, right? Even though the ghee is more expensive than the water. So similarly, if we want something, then we should, and to get the right answer, we should approach the right authority. And for us, our scriptures and our guru are the right authority. And only there we will find the correct answer to our understanding. The guru will explain us, simplify and explain us. Because if he just translates the scripture again, we won't understand. So the Guru will come down to our level of understanding and explain us in the language that we can easily understand. And that will clarify and clear all our doubts. And again, we should follow the scriptures and observe the fast and perform the austerity which pleases the Lord. So when we are performing service for the Lord, what are we doing? Are we doing it for our personal benefit or personal satisfaction? No. We are doing it all for the pleasure of the Lord. And when we do that, the Lord makes more arrangements so that we can perform service. So the Lord sees what is your intention. When you are performing devotional service, in Hindi we call it bhav. So with what bhav you are performing, how much love you are offering to the Lord, that is more important. What you are offering is immaterial. You may offer gold to the Lord. Does the Lord really need the gold? Does He care about the gold? No. He cares about the love that you are offering. That's why He says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. He could have easily said, give me gold, give me silver, give me diamonds. No, He just said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. So the Lord is very simple. The Lord doesn't complicate it at all. But we have a tendency to make everything so complicated, so complex. In Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam, sarva loka maheshwaram, suhardam sarva bhutanam, gnatva mam shantim rachati. So the translation is, the sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all the planets and the demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material nature. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that if someone wants to be happy and peaceful, then he needs to understand and accept that I am the Yajna Purush. And anything that you are offering in the sacrificial fire is coming to me. Unless and until we don't accept the Lord as the Supreme Personality, we will not be able to serve Him the way the Lord wants us to. So Krishna further says that if someone is fasting for me, performing austerity for me, and serving my devotees, that person will always be happy and at peace. So the Lord is saying that, what more do we need? What more proof do we need? But in this material world, in this age of Kali, we still don't believe that. We want tangible proof. We will believe anything that we can touch, feel and see. We can't see the Lord. We can't hear the Lord personally. And we can't touch anything, so we believe, oh, this is some mythological story. But it is not. So if someone is fasting for anyone else, his small desires may be fulfilled. So let's say somebody is, fasting on a Tuesday for Ganpati or on a Saturday for Hanuman. His small desires may be fulfilled. But will he be able to get happiness? Will he be able to attain the peace that he is actually looking for? He won't. Because the demigods don't have any power to sanction any desires that you are asking for. They are simply the ministers of Krishna. And if we go to them for any desire, they will not sanction it right away. Because they in turn have to approach Krishna to ask for permission that should we sanction or should we not. And then it's up to Krishna to decide whether he wants to grant us that benediction, whether he wants to fulfill that desire of ours. So small desires, yes, they may get fulfilled and we feel, oh, I prayed to Lord Ganesha and my desire was fulfilled, so that's it. Now Ganesha is the topmost, God for me. But that's not the fact. And the last line of the verse, Krishna says, Gnatva mam shantim rachati. So if someone wants to be peaceful and happy, he will have to fast for me. He will have to perform austerity for me. Only then we can be peaceful and attain eternal happiness that we are actually looking for. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are looking for happiness. We are looking for peace. But we just don't want to accept that. We want to put a different face in front of the world and try to, show that, yeah, I'm very happy. I'm at peace. Internally, the fight is continuously going on. What I want, do I want this, do I want that? So that battle is always going on. So someone may ask, then, which is the fast for the Lord? Because this is a natural question that will come. So like Monday is for Santoshi Ma, Tuesday is for Lord Ganesha, and like this, every day is for a different Lord, a different demigod. All our scriptures, Vedas, Puranas very clearly mention that the only fast that will please Lord Krishna is Ekadashi. There's no other fast. So it's like you take $100 bill. A $20 bill is included in that $100 bill, $5, $10, all that is included in that $100 bill. So if you are performing Ekadashi, that is taking care of performing any other fast that we may think of doing. So if we perform Ekadashi, the Lord will be satisfied, all the other demigods will be satisfied automatically. Because if the Lord is satisfied, the demigods are all automatically satisfied. You don't need to please them. It's like putting food in your stomach. All your limbs get the energy. We don't go separately feeding our hand and leg and ear and nose. No. We just put the food in our mouth, it goes to the stomach, and the whole body is nourished. Similarly, if we worship Krishna, that's it. We don't need to think about pleasing any other demigod. Because they themselves are always serving the Lord and trying to please the Lord. So if we are doing the same thing, why would they be unhappy? They have no reason to be unhappy. So if we are Vaishnavas, devotees of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, or Lord Vishnu, then we all must observe Ekadashi. So the next question, obvious question will be, where is it mentioned and what is the proof? Because we want proof. So the acharyas always mention that if you want to perform service, do it with humility. But if you want to take a decision, then always look for proof. So I'm sure here everyone is observing Ekadashi. But if anyone is not doing so, they can get enough proof in our scriptures. So I'm not very expert, so I'll just, I made some notes. So all the Vedas and scriptures very clearly mention that you may or you may not observe any type of fast, but must always observe Ekadashi without fail. So the first proof is in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sri Sanatan Goswami says in the Mangalacharan, Namo Bhagavate Tasme Yasya Priya Tamatithi Ekadashi Dvadashi Cha Sarva Bhishta Pradhan Nirnam. So Sanatan Goswami says that I am not offering my obeisances to the Lord, but I am offering obeisances to the tithi that the Lord loves the most. So he is not even offering obeisances to the Lord directly. He is offering his obeisances to the tithi. Tithi means the day on which Ekadashi falls. That's called tithi. He is offering because Ekadashi is very dear to Lord Krishna. And later on we'll see how Ekadashi appeared. And if anybody is observing Ekadashi, it will fulfill all your desires, whether it is material or spiritual. Now the second proof is from the Matsya Purana, which is one of the 18 Puranas written by Ved Muni. He wrote 18 different Puranas. In that it says, Ekadashyam niraharo yo bhunkte dvadashi dine shukleva yadi Krishna tad vartam vaishnavam mahat. So Ekadashyam niraharo means anyone who does not eat anything on Ekadashi. Yo bhunkte dvadashi dine, and breaks his fast on Dvadashi. And when you break your fast, you are supposed to break it with grains. If you are observing Nirjala, then you break your fast with water. So, Shukleva Yadi Krishna, whether it is Shukla Paksha Ekadashi or Krishna Paksha Ekadashi, doesn't matter. And Tat Vartam Vaishnavam Mahat. So, this is the most important fast for Vaishnavas. So, we must observe Ekadashi. Then the third proof, it is from Agni Purana, again by Ved Muni. Ekadashyam na bhunjita vartam etat vi Vaishnava. That who is dear to Vishnu, or if we want to become dear to Lord Vishnu, we should not consume any grains on Ekadashi. So like the Puranas, we also have the Vedas, Upanishads and Smritis. So like Manu Smriti, we also have Vishnu Smriti. So the fourth proof is from Vishnu Smriti. Ekadashyam na bhunjita kachit api manavaha. So kachit means never consume any grains on Ekadashi. Again it's being repeated. And if we are manav, means if we are human beings, we should not consume grains. The fifth proof is by doing Krishna Katha. Because this is the day of Lord Hari and we do Upvas. Means we observe Ekadashi. In Hindi it's called Upvas. So the word is broken in two parts, Upu and Vas. So Up is near and Vas is Krishna. So when we say Upvas means we should be near Krishna all the time. So on a Ekadashi, all we should be doing is chanting the name of the Lord, remembering the Lord, reading the scriptures, doing kirtan, doing sadhu sangha. So what are we doing? We are near Krishna. Not physically near Krishna, but we are always, all the time remembering Krishna. So that's all we should be doing on Ekadashi. We don't have to worry about cooking. We don't have to worry, what am I going to cook? Do I have the grocery or not? Because we only want to please the Lord. So that is what we should be doing. And the sixth proof is from Skanda Purana. And this is very strong. So listen very carefully. You might get a shock. I did get myself. It says, Matruha, Pitruha, Chaiva Bhatruha, Guruha. So Matruha means mother. And Ha means kill. Pitruha means father or elders. Chaiva Bhatruha means brother. And Guruha means guru. I'll explain in a bit. So then further it says, Ekadashi tu yo bhunkte Vishnu lokas to chuto bhavet. So Ekadashi tu yo bhunkte means if someone consumes grains on Ekadashi, and Vishnu lokas ta chuto bhavet, no matter how much bhakti one has performed, and even if one reaches Vishnu lok, he is bound to come back to this material world. Why? Because he has not performed Ekadashi. And what is the sin that you collect by not observing Ekadashi, it's equal to killing your mother, killing your father, killing your guru, and killing your brother. All put together is the amount of sin that you will get if you don't perform Ekadashi. And this is from scriptures. I'm not saying this. So again, we should observe Ekadashi without fear and no grains, period. So, and further it says that actually we should not consume grains on Ekadashi, and we should not also offer grains to anybody on Ekadashi. Because by offering grains to Ekadashi, you are still collecting karmas. And it's like as good as you have not performed Ekadashi. Because it's for Krishna's pleasure that we are performing Ekadashi. And there are many more proofs in the scriptures. We don't have the time, but there are many more proofs in the scriptures. So now we'll talk about the advent of Ekadashi. So in Padma Puran there is a story about a demon by the name of Moor. And he is the son of Sankhashur. So one time Sankhashur stole all the Vedas from Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, as it is, whenever any demigod has any problem, they've got to go to Lord Vishnu. So he went to Lord Vishnu and he said that Sankhashur has stolen all the Vedas and now I don't have anything to contemplate upon, or I don't have anything to distribute. So the Lord says, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So the Lord goes, has a battle with Sankhashur, kills him, retains all the Vedas and hands them over to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma goes back again to his abode. Now, Moor, son of Sankhashur, gets this news that Vishnu has killed my father. Without knowing why he has done that, he develops hatred towards Vishnu and says, okay, from today, Vishnu is my biggest enemy. And he, because he is a demon, he performs Asuri austerity. So in Tamogun, he performs austerities in Tamogun. And that he is doing to please Lord Shiva to get a benediction. And as we all know that Lord Shiva is all, there is another name of Lord Shiva is Bholenath. Bhole means he is very simple, he gets pleased very easily. The smallest of austerity that you do for Lord Shiva, he will get pleased and grant you your desire. So now Lord Moor is performing his austerity. Lord Shiva is pleased with him, he grants him the benediction, and he starts to have a heavy battle with all the demigods. So now the demigods are losing because Moor has got this benediction from Lord Shiva, so he has become strong, and the demigods were unaware of all this, so they were not prepared, so they start losing the battle. So obviously what they will do? They'll go to Lord Vishnu. So they all again collectively go to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu says, don't worry, you continue fighting, I'll join you. So Lord Vishnu joins the demigods and started fighting with Moor. And in the middle of the battle, Lord Vishnu just disappears. And this is a very unique quality of Krishna. He runs away from the battlefield. Right from the very childhood. When he used to play with his coward friends, and he would lose the match, and he had to perform some kind of punishment, as we call it, he would say, no, I'm not doing it. So his friends would say, okay, if you're not going to perform the punishment, you better leave, you don't play with us. And Krishna would happily go away, because he never wants to accept the defeat, right? I mean, they were his friends. So then again, there's another story where he ran away from the battlefield when he was fighting with Jarasandha. And this is again one more time, he is fighting with Moor and he ran away. So he says that now the Lord is running and Moor is going after the Lord with his whole army. And suddenly the Lord sees a dark cave, he goes inside the Lord in the cave, and that's it. And Moor reaches the cave, he knows the Lord has gone in this cave, so he reaches there with his army and starts shouting and he's furious. He's saying, "Hey Vishnu, come out, why are you hiding? Are you afraid of me?" You know? But Lord Vishnu doesn't come out. He doesn't even answer. So Moor goes in, enters the cave with his army. When he enters the cave, he sees the Lord is peacefully sleeping. So he's even more furious. He says, "I'm running after you, and here, look at him, he's just sleeping peacefully as if nothing has happened. You put me in so much trouble and now you're resting." So he's even more furious. He gets even more angry. And when a person is angry, we don't realize what we are going to say or what action we are going to take, because anger takes over our mind. So then anger drives our mind and we just don't know what's happening. We may say something and then repent for the rest of our life. But words once are out of our mouth cannot go back. Right? So now Moor is saying, okay, if the Lord is sleeping, he's not answering, great. I have this opportunity, let me just kill him. That way I don't have to fight with him, I don't have to go through this trouble, and once and for all, I get rid of the Lord and then I'll just rule the whole planet. So he pulls out his sword, and the moment he pulls out the sword, what does it say? Yeah, the moment he pulls out the sword, an energy appeared from the Lord in a female form and instantly killed his entire army. Now it was turned for Moor, so that the female energy was about to kill Moor, and what did Moor do? He fell at the feet of the Lord. And he's asking for mercy. So the Lord is saying that you haven't done anything that I can think of and I can grant you your life. But because it is Ekadashi, I'm letting you go. That day was Ekadashi day. So because it is Ekadashi, I'm letting you go. But you better leave this universe and find some place. So he again pleads to the Lord that where will I go? I don't have any place to go. So the Lord says, okay, because it is Ekadashi, you are really fortunate. I grant you place in grains. So you go and reside in grains. So on the day of Ekadashi, Moor is residing in all the grains. Each and every grain he is residing. So if we are consuming grains on Ekadashi, that means we are eating demon. And this way Moor is happy, he leaves, and then the Lord asks the female Shakti that, who are you? So she says, my dear Lord, I am your Dasi and I have appeared from you. So that's how, in the scriptures it says that's how she got the name Ekadashi. Also the Lord said that today being Ekadashi, you're going to be known as Ekadashi from today. So that's another reason how Ekadashi came into being. And she says that I am your Dasi. So that's why, and I am one of your Dasis. So that's why one is Ek and Dashi is Dashi. So Ekadashi, that's how she got the name. And the Lord further says that because today is Ekadashi and you are one of my dasis, so from today you are Ekadashi, and because you served me so nicely, I am going to give you such a benediction that in Kali Yuga, if anyone observes Ekadashi, that person will attain my pure bhakti. So, do we want pure bhakti or do we want more?
Pure bhakti.
Well, then perform Ekadashi. Right? So then again, further, you'll have question. Okay, how do we perform Ekadashi? Like when does Ekadashi start? When does Dwadashi? Like when do we break our fast? So the acharyas say that to be on the safe side, you should not eat anything after sunset on the day prior to Ekadashi. Yeah, so once you had dinner, that's it, you should not eat any grains to be safe. Because sometimes Ekadashi starts after sunrise, sometimes it starts before sunrise, few minutes here and there, so we don't really know when actually it's starting. So you may eat something in the morning, but that's already Ekadashi, we don't know. Because every second we can't count. So that's the safest thing to do. And breaking your Dwadashi should be on the next day. And there's always a set time where you break your fast to get the complete benefit of Ekadashi. And if you and it says, I was listening to a lecture and that Prabhuji was saying that even accidentally if you eat grains on Ekadashi, you lost the benefit of Ekadashi. So we have to be very careful, especially on Ekadashi, what we are consuming. The best way to perform Ekadashi is Nirjal. But obviously we can't perform because we have so many limitations. We have illness or any other reason. For whatever reason we can't perform. Then do it on water. If you can't do it on water, do it on fruits. If you can't do it on fruits, then do it on some vegetables. Again, there are certain vegetables you cannot eat because they are not called as nightshade. Right? Green pepper, brinjal, they are all nightshade. Even to a certain extent, even potato is in a different category we should not be eating. But again, Prabhupada has given us relaxed rules being in this part of the world. So we have some leniency. So it all boils down to how we want to please the Lord. Do we really want peace and happiness in our life?
Yes.
Do we really want to please the Lord? Right? So that's all it boils down to. And what is our goal? Is our goal to please the Lord, or is our goal to fulfill our desires? So if we really want to please the Lord, let's perform Ekadashi. Let's take a vow and let's say, okay, if we have not done it so far, moving forward, we will observe Ekadashi the right way. Right? Hare Krishna. So if you have any questions, I can answer. Yes, Jay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, on Ekadashi day, we should not offer grains to the Lord too.
No, you can offer grains to Krishna.
No.
Because Krishna is not observing Ekadashi.
Yeah. Yes.
So you can offer to Krishna. But you should not be consuming that, nor you should be giving it to anybody. Because if you give grains to anybody, even that is an offense. You will lose the benefit of that Ekadashi.
Because that's difficult because others are not doing Ekadashi. So what should I do?
Tell them you can offer, but then you said this is how I perform it. If you want, you can eat it. I would advise don't eat it. It's Ekadashi. You can always survive without grains one day. right? What if you are in a situation where you don't have any grains available? I'm sure you'll eat whatever is available, right? So tell them, assume there is nothing available except fruits, and there are so many things that you can eat on Ekadashi, right? So it boils down to, actually, everything is here. How we train our mind. If we train our mind and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to eat no matter what, then you won't have the urge to eat. It's like you put an alarm to wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm sure you all must have experienced that you would wake up before the alarm rings.
Before the alarm goes.
How does that happen? Because your mind is all the time thinking, I have to wake up at 5, I have to wake up at 5, I have to wake up at 5. And before 5, you're up. And if you do that every day, you won't need an alarm. Similarly, just train your mind. I don't have to take grains. I don't have to take grains. And I'm sure you won't need. When we started, first time when we were doing Nirjala, it was like terrible. Because, you have to go right up to midnight without drinking even water. So by 7:38, it was like so hot. We were in the temple, Toronto temple. The temple was full and it was stuffy and we could not breathe. And it was just, okay, let me go drink water. Then again you stop yourself. No, I'm performing Nirjala, so I don't have to. So now we don't feel it. Now we perform maybe 3, 4, 5 Nirjalas in a year. But we don't feel any difficulty. So it's just a matter of training. It's just a matter of telling your mind that this is how it's going to be, whether you like it or you don't like it. Take it or leave it. Right? So it's all in our mind. And depends how we train our mind. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, very well.
Any other question? Yes, Prabhuji.
How do you respond to youngsters when they say, what is the technical reason behind only grains? Is there history for grains why you should not eat? Scripture says don't eat grain.
Yeah, because the demon is residing in the grains. And if you eat grains on Ekadashi, because of the demon being present in the grains, the Lord has given the demon more to reside in grains. So if we consume those grains, our mentality will become demonic. And then we will speak anything, we will act however we like our nature becomes demonic. So do we really want to become demonic? Do we really want to go around offending people and committing sins?
So the other days it is not applicable?
No, other days you can eat. It's only on Ekadashi. And we get 2 Ekadashis in a month. Every 15 days we have Ekadashi. So just 2 days in a month, I'm sure we can do without grains. We have dry fruits, we have fruits, we have so many other vegetables that you can eat. It's just grains, dal, rice, and wheat, and some pulses. And there are so many days in a month we may not be eating any of those. Don't we survive?
The question is not survival. The question is how do you convince that only on 2 days a demon is there, rest of the demon is not there on the rest?
That's what the scriptures say. And scriptures is our mother. So we have to believe what the scriptures say.
I think, sorry.
Yes.
In the Vedic scriptures, in the knowledge, book of knowledge, every aspect, whether it's Ekadasi or you take anything, it's got got 2 aspects. One is the religious take on it, the fact that demon resides in all the grains. There is also every fasting or every the combination of foods in Ayurveda, our
Yes.
yogas and all that asanas, everything has got a scientific scrutiny.
Right.
So for youngsters, like he's saying, like if there's a scientific explanation.
There is a scientific explanation to that also. I don't have it. I can. There is a very nice lecture on YouTube by Amrendra Das. I can forward you that lecture. It gives you scientific, spiritual, as well as material sides of performing Ekadashi.
Prabhu, I think it also applies to the moon phase.
Yeah, moon phase.
Yes,
Right?
moon,
So when we eat.
high tide and low tide.
Yeah, so once in 15 days, like when the moon is waxing and waning,
Mm.
digestion, it's not good for your body,
Yeah.
right? It takes a toll on your body
Yeah.
to digest those grains.
Yes,
So, I mean, if we keep on loading it and loading it, we are doing it anyways otherwise,
Yeah.
right, on all other days. But specifically on those days when the moon is not at its full potency, then digestion becomes hard,
Yes.
right? And then that creates a lot of other issues in your body.
yes, definitely.
So then that's one way we can abstain, and then it's also like, you know, like you need to give rest to your body, like if you're constantly eating.
Yeah.
Like it's like a motor inside, like you have to.
It's a
give some
machine.
Rest,
Yeah, it's a
right?
It's a machine.
So then what happens is, yes, you're going to feel hungry at that time, specifically if you're used to eating at 1 o'clock every day, your stomach is going to crave for that food, and then a lot of acid is going to be produced. It's good in a way because when you starve the system of food, what happens is that acid will start eating up on your fats, that unwanted
Yeah.
fats, right, from your cells. So then when that happens, that's an easy way to weight loss, right?
Right.
And it's in a good way.
Yes.
And it's a spiritual way, it's a
Right.
scientific way.
Yes.
It's a bodily concept way, so
Yeah.
you win in any case.
Yeah, very good point, Mataji.
So then that could be one
Yeah.
way you can convince.
Also, in that same lecture that I was mentioning, Prabhuji is saying that when we consume a lot of food, our DNA always releases a certain portion. That's how we age, right? So when we are consuming a lot of food, a bigger chunk of our DNA is released. So that's why you'll see some people at a very young age, they look very old. But if you're performing Ekadashi twice in a month, it's called junk DNA. So that junk DNA,
Goes away.
very minute portion will be released. Because your body is adapting to that cycle. So when a minute portion of your junk DNA is released, so you have a bigger life expectancy. So that is another scientific reason that Prabhuji was giving. But I'll send you that lecture. You can, he explains it very well. Yes.
Yeah, actually I was having a question, like Canada has a time like behind India.
Yes.
10 hours, 9 hours.
Yes.
So Ekadashi, but it's coming before India. Like Ekadashi is today in India.
Yes.
But it came yesterday in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, how come it is like?
That is as per the grahas and nakshatras.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we are living in Toronto, then we have to follow the Toronto calendar.
But how come it is coming day before India? Like
That is all about the stars.
Mhm.
How they align, what time it falls here, what time it falls in India. So it all.
sometimes it coincides with
Yes,
India also.
yes.
And sometimes it's before.
Sometimes we have Ekadashi falling on 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's all about the stars and nakshatras.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had the same question, but then we just, everybody explained that this is how it is. You just, follow that because it's coming from the scriptures. And it's as per the stars, how they align and the timing. Because we are in a different time zone.
Yeah.
So that's why it's different here.
But it's like Dashami there.
Yes.
We are keeping.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's always one day after in India.
Yes.
We observe it before and they observe it after. Yeah.
So it was like, वैसे तो it's like a day before
Yes.
India, but
Yeah.
in Kashi it's also before. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking how come.
yeah. But then we just observe it as per how it is done here.
Hmm.
On the day it falls, the Ekadashi falls here in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu,
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
I just wanted to know, like.
Sorry,
when we-
Mataji.
When we do the fasting, so
Yes.
why we really have to break our fast with grains? If we, Ekadashi fasting, like in the morning, then Ekadashi, so why we have to break our fast with the grains?
You're basically breaking your fast with grains because you're going to consume grains now. You abstain from it, so you're breaking your fast.
Yeah.
So how do you break your fast?
So that's what I wanted to know, like actually.
Yeah, so
we have to-
because you are going to break your fast, so then you consume grains, that's how you break the fast.
No, Prabhu, her question is why with grains, right?
Yeah.
Our
Because we
body-
abstain from grains,
No, our body is made up of 5 koshas.
okay?
First is Annamaya kosha. Annam is what? Grains.
Great,
So you have to break it with grains. So that is the easiest way, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Jnanamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha.
but then if
So
it,
the first is physiologically our body is made up of grains.
Okay.
We need to consume it. So without Annamaya kosha, you can't do anything else. That's the basic. So you break your fasting with grains. That's what I know.
I was
Okay.
thinking maybe anything else, but it must
No,
be
but-
grains, right?
yeah. And if you are performing Nirjala Ekadashi, then you break your fast with water.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
I have one like personal experience, like it's
Okay.
not a question. Because the other Prabhu was asking the
Yeah.
scientific reason, right?
yes,
I have a Crohn's disease.
okay,
It's very dangerous disease. So doctor said that I'm gonna die with it.
okay,
It cannot be cured.
okay.
It's gonna stay. I don't know. Do you, maybe you know it's a Crohn's disease.
No, no.
You don't know, right?
No.
It's a very dangerous disease.
Okay,
It's stay.
okay,
It's a stay. It doesn't cure.
right,
So he said you have to die with it
right,
anytime, right?
okay,
Okay. Then I wasn't doing anything, nothing for the Lord. All of a sudden I was doing Ekadashi.
Right.
I don't know, maybe Vaishnava's kripa or somebody did kripa to me,
Mhm.
so I started doing it.
Okay.
And I wasn't vegetarian like prasadam.
right,
I did not know what is prasad. I don't know anything.
okay,
So all of a sudden I started doing it, and I'm doing Ekadashi. So I was scared that I have a Crohn's disease, without food I might die, because
Right.
my experience. And then all of a sudden I was doing Ekadashi, I was eating some potato and offer and doing slowly. All of a sudden one day I said, why I'm eating that? Why can't I stay without anything? Let me see.
okay,
If I die, I die. Eventually, by this time, I got a Shiksha Guru. I'm attached with Isckon,
Right.
I always used to go downtown Isckon, but I wasn't.
right,
I was doing all over,
Right.
material, God, everything. So all of a sudden happening, and then Ekadashi, one Ekadashi, I said, I'm not going to touch anything today. Let's see.
Hmm.
So I always keep sugar with me. I said, I want to work.
right,
I took prasad workplace, and I said, no. I feel, time to time I feel hungry.
right,
And I said, no, I'm not gonna eat, I'm not gonna drink. But I took everything with me.
right,
So, and my belief was that I have sugar. If anything happened, I'll take sugar and then
right,
I'll be fine. But that way I did it, and then whole day, whole night I was doing Mahamantra at work, I don't have mala or anything. I was verbally doing Mahamantra. Everything done. Next day, almost 25 to 27 hours, because I stopped eating
right,
before Ekadashi.
right,
After 11 o'clock, I even did not drink. I always take some medicine. I did not take medicine. Ekadashi day, I said, no, I'm not gonna take any medicine. If I die, I'll die.
right,
Okay. Then, Dadashi, I completed with the Dadashi, did the puja and everything. And yeah, And since then, I don't know, next one, yesterday also, I'm doing totally Nirjala Ekadashi. I don't touch anything.
Yeah.
I don't talk. If I talk with only God. If I read Gita, Bhagavatam, like that. So this is my actual experience. And my stomach, my Crohn's, where is it, my Crohn's? I don't know.
Lord takes care of everything.
It
It's
is.
your desire.
I don't know, Prabhu.
It's your desire that you wanted to perform Ekadashi and the Lord made the arrangements.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the living proof.
Yeah, it is.
You're the living proof.
Yeah.
Jai.
Thank you.